So this is incredible important agenda. So we know that the whole globe now is affected by armed conflicts in every continent that you might see. If you access the websites that speak about conflicts, they are there. Surely we pay attention more now to Ukraine and Russian conflict and in Gaza right now, but everywhere it's happening since 1992. So we have an agenda to discuss about what are the environmental impact of these conflicts and how do they affect human health. In this specific regard, we are discussing here cancer and lung cancer. We all know that radium is a radioactive component that affects human health and is linked to lung cancer risk and other heavy metal components that also affect human health when we drink our water or we breathe the air, along with air pollution that's also linked to conflicts. So how can we measure and how can we define the association between the exposure and the aggressiveness of the conflict and how that shapes the human health is still a gap in the literature. There's a lot have been discussed and written, but just from an environmental perspective, and the discussion pertaining to how that affects human health in the sense of measuring the impact and the clinical outcomes is not there. So we are still trying to see how can we match the agenda and bridge bridge the gap so we can understand how this agenda can be put in consideration. We have mandates. There are UN agencies like UNEP that's now trying to determine how the exposure is happening right now in Gaza and in Ukraine. It's usually measured in retrospective manner, and the UN agencies are discussing how can we now measure and also have a mandate to discuss the liability of these interventions in countries that have been exposed to conflict, and what's the liability involved in terms of the other country support the reconstruction and the waste management of these countries so we can rebuild it better, not only the healthcare system, but also the whole community environment that's linked to that and reduce the impact of these environmental hazards.